Hey everybody, I'm Glendor here, and welcome to another episode of Manga-August. And just to point out, uh, I am actually about to head out for, ooh, that's bright. Uh, oh well. I am about to head out to Gen Con. I'm about to head out to Gen Con. It's early, and I just wanted to record a few videos before I go, so uploads might be a little slow for the next couple of days. Um, but I'll try to get these up as quickly as possible, and I will be going as a FNAF fanboy, in case you haven't already figured that out. I got my FNAF shirt, I got uh, some FNAF sweatpants on, got my FNAF hat, and FNAF glasses. And let's see if the camera will adjust. You got pizza, it's a pizzeria, and you got Bonnie, you got Foxy, Chica, Freddy, got all of them there. So, yeah, I'm gonna have tons of fun. There at Gen Con. If any of you are there, if any of you are going, if you see me around, stop me, say hi. And next year when I start going to all these conventions, I will upload a video and tell you what conventions I'll go to. This year I kind of made plans for each of them just on a whim. I wasn't sure what to think when I made those plans, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna start going. I'm gonna start trying to go every year, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. But on to this one. This one is, and I don't even have the book with me because like I'm in such a hurry to get out of here. So, this one is World War Blue, and World War Blue. I believe I've mentioned it before in one of my other videos. Briefly talked about it, but it is a manga where it takes all of the classic video game characters you grew up with: Mario, Sonic, Link, and Samus, and Icarus, so on and so forth. Takes all of those, and they are all here in this manga, but they all, of course, have different names, but these characters are homages and references to all these old video game characters. And there are two major countries here in this story that are in a war against each other: the Nintendo Empire and the Kingdom of Segua. And you can already there is no need to guess. Everybody knows like what that is. That's Nintendo versus Sega, the console wars. Like there ends up becoming like other competitors end up rising up and whatnot. And yeah, it's really cool. So far there are 8 volumes out. 9th volume is on the way. Part 2, I believe, is just about done. Part 1 is finished. Part 2 is almost done. I believe volume 9 will be the end of part 2. Then there's going to be a part 3, which is supposed to be like more than what parts 1 and 2 were put together. So like more than 10 volumes total for part 3 alone. So like I don't know, like maybe 20 plus volumes total for this series. So it is a pretty good sized manga, and the main character for part 1 is the homage to Sonic, Gear. He is the main character for part 1. And the interesting thing is, he's not the only main character. It switches from him to the homage to Link in part 2. And a few other characters. So there's not just one main character. There are many. And that's kind of the really interesting thing about it. It's in that aspect, it's similar to one of my favorite shows, one of my 3 favorite shows, Game of Thrones. It is similar to Game of Thrones in that aspect, that there is no one main character. There are multiple main characters, and you can follow any one of them that you choose. And I think that is really interesting. I've never seen that in a manga before. With manga, there is usually a set main character that you have to follow all the way through. With this, it's different. You don't have to choose one main character. You can choose whatever character you want and follow them. So that's really interesting. And not all of these homages are going to have the right genders. For instance, Knuckles. Knuckles' homage is a girl named Opal. She's pretty dense. She gets tricked easily. She is physically strong. Although she prefers to be an archer. But you can kind of tell her character is supposed to be kind of an homage to Knuckles. They did have the homage to Amy, right? The homage to Tails. He actually, spoilers. He actually dies in the first chapter. That's the big change. That's the big thing. The big reason why the main character Gear decides to go to war. It's to avenge his best bud dying. Which, to haters of Tails, you're gonna love this. Because after that, you pretty much never hear of Tails ever again after the first volume. They just completely forgot he existed. In volume 1, you kind of see Gear going through the motions of losing his best friend and how he wants revenge. And then in volume 2, it's oh, I just found out my father is alive. I'm gonna go save him. After that, that's it. You never ever. They never bring up the guy who is an homage to Tails ever again. He just doesn't matter. So haters of Tails, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. How it just spits on Tails. And yeah, I love this manga. I think it's amazing. I'm definitely gonna continue following it because it's really got me curious. And also, some of these I can't tell what they're homages to. There are some that are obvious. There's one that's Ness, and then there's one that's obviously Samus, one that's obviously Link, one that's obviously Kirby. But then, and one that's obviously Donkey Kong, one that's Luigi, one that's Mario, one that's Sonic and Amy, Knuckles, Tails. A lot of these are really obvious, but then you get to some of these others, and let's see. Okay, there's this one girl in the Nintendo Empire. She apparently has a pet dragon. She's one of the 6 generals for the Nintendo Empire. She's one of the 6 generals. She has a pet dragon. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what that's supposed to be an homage to. I keep thinking, what Nintendo characters ride dragons? The closest thing I can think is Samus has her rivalry with Ridley, which is kind of the dragon pterodactyl thing. I still don't know what Ridley is. To this day, I still don't know exactly what his race is called. I'm not even sure if we're ever given an explanation for him. I haven't played Metroid in so long. I need to play that game again. That game was awesome. Anyway, but I can't figure out who that. I can't figure out like what that girl is supposed to be a reference to. I can't seem to figure it out, and like so, it's not always obvious. They don't always make it obvious. You have to really know your video game stuff in order to get all of these. And so I guess I'm not as knowledgeable about video games as I thought, because oh man, they've been introducing characters that I am clueless about, absolutely clueless. So it's a neat little test your skills in terms of like how well do you know video games. It's a nice little test to see how well you know these video games, while also offering a really interesting story and interesting spin on the console wars in manga form, no less. And so I really like it. It is really interesting, and I would recommend it to anyone. It is definitely worth your time. I'm not sure if it's available online, but you can find the volumes at any Barnes & Noble. Currently only volumes 1 through 8 are out, but volume 9 is coming out soon, like I said before. And yeah, I like it. I think it's awesome. So thanks again for watching. I'm gonna see if I can I'm gonna see if I can record one more video for you guys, and I'll see you guys then. Okay, take care, everyone.